Hello everybody, this is Chatting with Tony, and today I want to create a video centered around the idea of mediocre protagonists. I believe that there should be more mediocre protagonists for certain groups of people. Anybody in gaming spaces knows that when video games come out and there are queer protagonists, female protagonists, not white protagonists, there a very certain group of people get very butthurt about those inclusions. They get mad, they say that gaming is dying, they say that you're getting too woke, and I feel like the reason why they get so enraged is because they believe that people like them, cisgender, straight, white men, are the only group of people who are allowed to feel represented. They are the only people. They're the default. They're just the basic. There's no other, realm of possibility for anybody else to exist. So when they see something that they enjoy allowing for other groups of people to take up space, they get mad because why are you giving that space that could be held for a person like me, cisgender straight white guy, for to somebody else, a queer person, a black person, an Asian person, a woman? So I feel that the best way to counteract these types of people is to create more mediocre protagonists in anything. Stories, games, movies, anything like that. There are countless, dozens, millions, I'm pretty sure, protagonists that are just bland cisgender straight white guys. There should be more bland trans people, more bland black people, more bland Asian people, more bland women. These characters should just be allowed to exist and treated as they would if they were white. You don't need to create a big, massive story about this trans woman overcoming so much gender dysphoria and all of that. You can just create a story about a trans woman doing regular things. Maybe she wants to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe she wants to kind of build a big thriving business. You can create bland, mediocre protagonists because those types of protagonists create a space where they are accepted. If there's just a bunch of like bland, fine people, then it doesn't matter how much like they get mad because they're just doing what like cisgender straight white protagonists have been. They are just existing and they don't need to like earn their space, their right to exist within gaming or just anything. You can find so many, like God of War Laufey, for instance. God of War Laufey, everybody got so viscerally angry about that game, about how dare they like make a woman the protagonist of a God of War game. I don't want to play as Kratos' wife. I want to play as Kratos. And the reason why they get so mad is because they think that I'm 100% sure that if it wasn't Laufey that was announced as the protagonist for the next game, but Atreus, they wouldn't have cared as much. It was just the natural progression. Atreus is a character, is a straight white guy who, the son of Kratos. He would have, yeah, even though he isn't the god of war, it would have made sense for these guys because, well, he's a white guy. He's Kratos' son. He could have, he isn't like, changing the status quo. He isn't the other. He isn't different from me. He's just like me. I can see myself in him. These people, they live vicariously through gaming. So anything that they can't easily, see themselves in, they get mad at. And so we should create more stories centered around bland, mediocre people. Let these people exist. Let their stories exist, and they don't need to be earned. They can just exist. That's the best way, in my opinion, for stories like this to be more popular. If we just allowed for these stories to breathe and exist without having to earn it and put on this big performance, more stories would be made about these people. I feel, and another reason as to why I think like these people get so mad over like non-white people, or like non-straight people, non-cis people being in stories, is because they've never, because unlike trans people, gay people, black people, Asian people, women, they've never had to see a character who isn't like them and then still relate to them using their own circumstances. People like marginalized groups, people who aren't like well represented in media, who don't have so much like existence in media, who can't see themselves easily in the stories they consume, learn to see themselves in any aspect of a character. So I feel that that's why these people don't get, don't care enough or get so mad when they see somebody not like them in stories, because they've never had to see somebody who isn't like them in everything and never get to actually connect with people who are like them and will go through similar abuses. That's all that I wanted to talk about. I really wanted to get a video out, and so yeah, this was Chatting with Tommy. The next video I shall make will be a episode by episode analysis of the Amazing Digital Circus and why I personally don't quite enjoy the Amazing Digital Circus and why I feel that its potential was wasted. It was a bad, it wasn't very enjoyable.